Hi, everybody. I'm Kathleen Byram, and I'm the author of Conversations with Donkey, a Bipolar Journey. I'd like to talk to you today about shame and guilt, and why shame is not a good emotion to be having, and why it's not right to put it on other people. There's a difference between shame and guilt. Shame and guilt says, I did something bad. Shame says, I am bad. That's not cool. Don't do that to yourself. Why shame is a useless emotion. It does not lead to positive behavioral change. It leads to paralysis. Shame triggers Shame triggers the fight, flight, or freeze response. When someone feels shamed, their brain moves into a defensive state. They stop listening and start protecting their ego. It kills creativity and risk-taking. If the fear of being exposed as inadequate is too high, people will never innovate, share ideas, or try new things. Shame thrives on secrecy, silence, and judgment. By keeping shame bottled up, it festers and manifests as anger, anxiety, or depression. Why we shouldn't do it. It destroys trust. You cannot influence someone effectively if they view you as a source of pain or judgment. Shame breaks the relational bridge. It creates reactance. Psychological reactance is the urge to do the opposite of what someone is telling you to do when you feel your freedom or identity is being attacked. Shame makes people dig their heels into their bad habits rather than changing them. Moral superiority is a trap. Point out that trying to shame someone else is often an attempt to inflate our own ego by placing ourselves above them. It is an act of dominance, not an act of help. So, moving toward empathy and accountability. If shame is useless, what should we use instead? Focus on impact, not character. Instead of you are irresponsible, try, when you missed that deadline, it made the team's workload much harder to manage. This addresses the action without attacking the person. Normalize the idea that mistakes are data points, not personality flaws. As Brené Brown famously says, shame cannot survive being spoken. Encouraging open, non-judgmental dialogue allows people to move past the paralysis of shame and into the responsibility of growth. I remember shame. I don't feel shame anymore, generally. I don't remember the last time I felt shame. But I remember a time I did feel shame. It wasn't just guilt. It was pure shame. I was living with my parents, and my dad borrowed my car, and he didn't refill it. And I griped about that to my mother. And somehow he knew about it, and he went and he filled up my car. I was so ashamed because this is my father who has provided for me all my life. All my life. not just as a kid, but he was providing for me in other ways too as an adult. He was giving me a home to live in at times. He was buying my groceries and feeding me and taking care of my bills at times. And I said to Mom he could have put gas in the car. That was shame. It told me not to ever, ever do that again. So maybe shame has a little bit of usefulness. I never did that again. There were other moments where I felt shame, but I think I'm going to let it go at this. I just want to tell you, don't do shame to yourself. Guilt is bad enough to have to deal with, but shame is sickening. It's an icky, icky feeling, and I don't wish that upon anyone. Please take care of yourself. I'm Kathleen Byram, and I'm the author of Conversations with Donkey, a Bipolar Journey. Thank you for listening, and I hope that you will just take a second and flick the like button for me. It means so much to me and does a lot of good. Thank you again for listening. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.